Hi everyone, welcome into Universal Beauty. And last week I had a question from Tatanka Peach, Miss Peach, and she wanted to know if there was a way to kind of help with the eyeshadow creasing up during the middle of the day. And there certainly is. And there's a few different ways to go. And if you would like to join in and see how that all works, just keep on watching. All right, so to get started, I have already put foundation on my face. Everything there is done. If you're worried about the eyeshadow that you're going to use, if it's like kind of a dark and crumbly one, if you want, this would be the time to pat some loose powder under your eyes so that you can whisk away any fallout that you have, something like that. To get started though, to keep this eyeshadow from creasing, there's a number of ways you can go about it. My personal favorite is from Too Faced, and it's this Shadow Insurance. Okay, looks like that. And it is a 24-hour anti-crease eyeshadow primer. And I find this thing consistently works for me. The tube that I'm on at the moment is nearly out, so I've got one on standby because I pretty much use this every day. And you just squirt a little onto your finger like this, and I just tap my two ring fingers together. The ring fingers because it's the finger with the less amount of pull muscle in it. So your other fingers are a little stronger, but your ring fingers, they're a little more gentle. So you would just go over the tops of your eyelids, and don't be afraid to, you can rub it on there. And I just take it from the lash line all the way up. And then I even put a little bit underneath because a lot of times, you're going to be putting some shadow under your lower lash line as well. And you just let this stuff dry down. Now, in the meantime, if you wanted something, if you have a lot of discoloration on your eyelids, like you have like purplish blue or, hyperpigmented tones right on your eyelid, this is through Morphe. It's P. Louise, and it has like a bit of a color there. This one is called Rumor, and it works on the same principle as that the Too Faced one, but it has a little bit of this pigment in it where it gives you like kind of a canvas. It covers everything in the color. I mean, in the discolored area. So that can work too, and that's like the same thing. Like I said, my preference just happens to be the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Also, Urban Decay has one. Let me see. Yeah, it's it's just called Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this one has a wand that you just then put it over your eyelid. And it's like pretty much doesn't have a color to it either. But all of these things are there for that same reason, to just kind of lock your shadow in place. You just kind of have to play around a little bit and find the one that suits you the best. Now, if the ones in the tube don't suit you, another couple of things that are super popular, you probably see them with a lot of the real makeup influencers online, are these MAC paint pots, and they look like this. I'm just getting the powder off the top lid so that it doesn't look too messy. Okay, so these two colors are pretty. This one's got more yellow to it, and this one is regularly. This one is in the color called Painterly. It's very popular. It's just kind of this, light skin toned. Now, if you're a person of color and you have like darker, don't worry, because this is just going over your lid, and you're going to be covering it with shadow anyway. So you're not necessarily, it's not that you're trying to match your skin tone. I'm just showing you this one is in ochre, and it's got a much more yellow tone to it. Again, these you would put on, well, if you don't have nails, you can dig around in that very well. But if not, then you're going to need a brush, and you just kind of do the same thing. You put it right over the lid, and it cancels out any discoloration, like I say, any redness, purplish, bluish, brownish hyperpigmentation that you might have on the lid itself that you just want to cancel out before you put your shadow in place. Now, to demonstrate this for you, I've put it right over the top of the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, but it's okay. It's not gonna mess anything up. It's still, they're all doing the same type of thing. Now, if none of these things appeal to you, you can always just use your foundation or your concealer to do the same kind of thing. But these products are kind of made for just what Peach was talking about, the creasing in the middle of the day. You don't want that. And that's why I just find that this Too Faced 24-hour shadow insurance, it really, for me, it just works the best. But all of these things do perform. Okay, so now that you've got this in place and you've let it dry down, you could take like your translucent setting powder and get yourself like one of your fluffed up fluffy brushes. Yeah, I'll just like, this one's it's a Sigma blending brush. It's an E25 and it's like, you know, just looks like this. And I'm just going to get a little bit of my translucent powder on there. This is a step to just make sure that it's dried down before you get started. If you know, if you don't have time to like really wait to be sure. Okay, and so that's got everything, a nice smooth finish on it. Again, that step isn't necessary. It's just sometimes these are the things that you play around with to find out if that's what suits your particular kind of skin that you have and what you're doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a palette here. What's on top? This is a Natasha Denona, the Zendo palette. And let's see, I'm just gonna, you know, start out with something like this, I think. And my brush is all here except for what I need when I need it, right? But anyway, this color is called Balance. I'm gonna get started with that. And, you know, just start putting some color down. A lot of times too, keep your eyes open right into your mirror so that, you know, if you close your eye, you won't see how high up it's going and you may have to waste time doing these over corrections. Now remember, the closer you hold your fingers to the tip of the brush, the more intense it'll be. The more you back it off, the lighter your touch will be. So just keep that in mind as you go forward and adjust it to the way that you want it to be. And we're just laying that first color down. Okay. Anything left on the brush, we'll just kind of go underneath with. I'm not like dipping into the color again because I don't want it that strong. Just want to, you know, get a little bit of hint of it. Okay, so then next I'm just trying to keep this look pretty simple. I think I will just go in with, this is kind of an olivey color here. It's called Zeal. And I think I'm just going to take a little bit of that for the very outer. And again, you can see I'm way backed up on my brush because I don't want like anything like super heavy and super intense. And I'm just making sure that I can feel that brush hitting my lash line. And I just want a little bit more, you know, shading, a little more depth in the corners. So that's why going in there with this. Okay. And my shadow insurance, it doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel wet. I can't even tell that it's on there anymore. It's completely like melded itself into the skin and it's doing its job. Now its job is to accept the shadow and lock it down. And again, just gonna put a little bit of this underneath. You don't have to be perfect because, you know, you're still blending at this stage, so no worries. Okay. And I also think I'm just going to do this lighter color here that's called Yama. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of that for here. Okay, so that I've set down my color. I think that's might be all I'm doing with that. Now I just get my kind of my dedicated blending brush, and it looks like this. And there's no shadow on it. I never dip into shadow with this brush. It's only for just blending color that's already on the lid, because I don't like hard lines, and you know, just want everything to be kind of softer and smoked out a little bit. Okay, so get that going. Okay, and you can hit that underneath as well. Just make sure everything is as smooth as you want it to be. Okay, and now if you have anything that you want to put on a little under the brow highlighter or a lighter color to pick that up a little bit. What do I have here? This is a Too Faced Canary Diamond highlighter. And I'm just gonna, you know, tap my brush on that a little bit and, you know, give it a little flick. You can bring that right to the inner corner too on that brush if you want to. Again, not going too strong. It's just a subtle hint of gold. Okay. And okay, so then your shadow, it should be like locked and set. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on and comb up my eyebrows a little, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there you go. I promise you this isn't gonna move. It's going to stay and not crease. I think in this lighting it looks maybe like a little patchy right here, and I don't want you to think that. It's just not reading well on camera, but it's really not like that. It is a good blended eye, and like I say, I use this most every day, and it's not going anywhere. Once it's on there, you're good to go. So again, you've got choices. That's the Too Faced 24-Hour Shadow Insurance eyeshadow primer. That's my favorite. And I also like the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. The one thing that doesn't work so well for me is like the wand. I do kind of prefer to just put it on my finger, but you could always just, you know, squeeze a bit of this out onto your finger and do it that way. It's not that thing. Again, this is all a matter of taste. This one is through Morphe, and it's P. Louise. It comes with a little more of a tint to it, so you can just put a nice fresh canvas over your eyelids if you need to remove any discoloration that you don't like. Same with the matte paint pots. There's Painterly and Ochre. Soft Ochre is the yellower one, and Painterly is the kind of more light flesh toned one. But anyway, either way, like I say, it's not going to be a thing where you need to match your actual skin tone. You're just, you know, obliterating any reds and blues and that kind of thing. So that is nice when you have choices. You can just kind of fool around and figure out what works best for you. Okay, so I hope that helps, Peach, and it will help to, you know, take you through the day with no problems, especially as we're gonna be coming into summer soon. We really want everything bulletproof and locked down, don't we? Okay, so other than that, I hope you guys had a great week this week and were able to do something fun. Check out the amaryllis. I didn't show you last week, but this is the second stalk that's opened up. I had to cut away the first one because the flowers, you know, bloomed away. I'm getting a leaf here, but there's not going to be any more flowers after this, and it looks like 3 have opened here. Yeah, usually there's 4, but there's only 3 on this particular second one. And that's okay because, gosh, I just love having them around. They're so beautiful. Speaking of beautiful flowers, there's a place that we have here. It's on the Big Sur coast, and It's the near Garapata State Beach. There's like these lilies that, all the water that comes down from the larger hillside is pouring into this kind of, it's like a carved out sort of a little crevasse in the hillside. And if you come upon it, it's just full of these beautiful calla lilies. And I'm going to see if this is going to read for you on my phone here. I'm not sure. But that is what it looks like. You've got the ocean back here and then this carpet of lilies, and they're just absolutely gorgeous, and straight through to the ocean. It's a really pretty place. You kind of have to find it. You can approach it from the top and climb down, or you can go along the beach and just keep going and watch for it and then climb up into it. Either way, it's only for a short time every year. I usually try to avoid it during Valentine's weekend because that's when all the Valentiners are there taking pictures and stuff. But when I went yesterday, it wasn't too bad. There were some people there, but at one point I really actually did have the whole place to myself. If you go early enough, it's so beautiful, and it feels like you're in the middle of a storybook. It's just incredible. So you know what though, this makes me laugh how if you start talking to people, some of the like local yokels around here, they always have to like be negative in the way that, well, they're not native and they're highly invasive. And so what? If they were so highly invasive, they would be covering the entire hillside by now because they've been there for years. And like they just grow in this one like kind of little canyon area. And let people have this beautiful moment and appreciate it. And people come from everywhere to look at these, and to be so crass about it, I guess, like they're not native, they're highly invasive. And it's funny because sometimes when I've been in Hawaii, they're like that too, where you're just so impressed with some beautiful vision of paradise, and you've just got some, like I say, some local yokel who's just upset that they're not native. It's just like, can you just let people have their moment of beauty and happiness? So anyway, I hope that sometime, yes, you can come and see the Garapata lilies because they are an absolute sight to see and truly beautiful. So I hope you're having a great week, a great weekend. And thank you so much, Ms. Peach, for the question. And I hope you find one of these products that will be good for you. I really think you won't be disappointed if you try that shadow insurance out. But, see what you think and let me know. And always love a question about anything, you guys, for us to discuss and talk about. If you got anything in mind, let us know. And I will see you next week.